Hey everybody, it's Movie Goon, or on Xbox Live, the real Slim Savage. I should explain myself there. This is my first commentary. I am not a big Eminem fan. It was just an inside joke back from my Halo 2 days. Maybe more on that later. But right now we're here to play Red Dead Redemption. Anybody who is a fan of the original game, Red Dead Revolver, or Gun, or Grand Theft Auto, um, you should enjoy this immensely. It's a good game. So this video is going to be about Armadillo, the first town that you really come across and spend a lot of time in the first part of the game. And uh, we'll just go over the various things that you can do in town, and these will be things that you can do in all the other towns that you run into. So we'll just do one video about this and move on to the other aspects of the game in different videos. So this is my safe house. You can buy it for 50 bucks. It's in the Armadillo Saloon. What I'm doing there is just checking for extra ammo in the chest and the armoire. And other things you can do in there: save your game by sleeping, change outfits, etc. It's sort of like Grand Theft Auto. So not too much you can do in here. If you're achievement hunting, I guess there's an achievement for knocking someone out in every saloon you come across. Make sure you do that. Another thing you can do in here, of course, is drink whiskey, $2 a pop. 5 drinks, I believe it takes to get drunk. It's not worth it. If you've played Grand Theft Auto 4 and went to a couple bars in there, you know exactly what happens. You turn around, you fall flat on your face, and it's funny for about 30 seconds, and then it just sort of gets annoying. So I turn around and I go outside and I see someone who needs help, represented by that blue circle on my radar. It is a prostitute getting held at knife point. Now I pause it here. I wanted to make a point. First time this happened, I pulled out my gun and I shot the guy. There was a marshal behind him. He thought I was shooting at him. He pulls out his gun and starts shooting at me. And your option there is to either die or shoot back. Or run away, but you keep getting shot. So your bounty goes up, and it's a nightmare. It's best just to pull out your fists and punch the guy to death, or until he goes limp and he's ready to run away. That's kind of what that means. If he goes limp, he's ready to run off, and I don't get that here. I just keep kicking the guy. Usually the person who needs help will stick around and thank you. You'll get some honor points, maybe some fame points, but I guess the hooker had hooker stuff to do, so she ran off. I run back in here because I forgot there was one more thing you can do in the Armadillo Saloon, and that's play poker. Poker rooms won't always be in saloons, but in Armadillo it is. It's Texas Hold'em. Pretty decent game, with these three guys. If I legitimately tried to win this game, I'd be playing for the better part of an hour. The AI, they're not stupid. You don't always get the greatest cards. It feels like a real game of poker. There's an achievement also for winning a hand of poker. I think 200 chips. I haven't done it yet. I tried to chase it straight here. Somebody else gets it. I have a pair of sevens. It sucks. I get up. I'm pissed off. I don't like losing. I go to pull out my gun to shoot everybody, and I realize that I still have my fist selected from my prostitute encounter just moments ago. Apparently the fists are enough to freak out everybody still and get them all standing up. Everybody starts freaking out. I pull out my gun. This guy doesn't like getting gun pointed at him, so he pulls out his gun. I get caught up in the moment there, sadly. Fortunately, I run into this dude. He is willing to take money to keep quiet. He is a witness. If you have the money, pay off witnesses. Like I said, the less you pull out your gun and point it at people, the better. We'll see that in a little bit later in the video. Bounties don't go away. You can always escape the cop circle, from Grand Theft Auto. You can always get outside of that and get your wanted level down, but the bounty will still remain. And they will send a posse after you, just as though, as if I had accepted the bounty on that wanted poster we just saw, and went after him. They'll send people after you, and you have to either pay your bounty off or get a pardon letter. But more on that later. This is the shopkeep. I buy a rabbit's foot. You do a lot of looting in the game, so this is a pretty good deal for 25 bucks. Other things you can buy in there: horses, things that restore horse stamina, and there's a couple other places that you can buy goods in town. This is the gunsmith, and there's a doctor's place. Um, I wouldn't suggest buying any guns at this point in the game. It's useless. You start off with a good revolver and a good rifle for free, so save your money. For some reason, I go to pull out my gun here and I point it, and like I said, people freak out. You can see the shopkeep close his door on me. Not everyone will close their doors, but the people who sell and buy shit will. And you have to do something that kind of redeems yourself in their eyes. Either chase a bounty or help somebody in need, blah, blah, blah. I call my horse. It's a cool little feature there. You can whistle, and no matter where you are and where your horse is, eventually he will find you. And I went to get out of Dodge there, and I got distracted by this gentleman who is challenging me to a duel. And I haven't done that in the game yet, so I oblige. Pretty much the same setup from Red Dead Revolver. You square off here, and it's all cinematic, and you draw, and you drag your reticle over his body, and you'll see in a minute what happens. Thankfully, this is my first one, and the game made it pretty easy for me because I'm so slow for some reason. I imagine as the game progresses, it'll get much harder, and you'll have much less time to place your reticle. So I get a nasty little headshot there, and I go to loot the body. Even it's funny because it's like sanctioned by the game that I just did this little shootout, and people are still freaking out and running away and screaming and shit. All right, so I cut ahead of here. It was just boring footage. I got distracted. I chased the train. But I wanted to show this part. Any kind of wild animal outside of town, you can shoot and skin and sell their remains, whether it be meat or pelts, fur, whatever, buck antlers, to the shopkeep for money. It's a good way to make money, and it also fulfills challenges that you have. The benefit of challenges, I believe, there's achievements regarding challenges. You can find it in your journal. We'll look at that a little bit later. And you get, I think, honor and fame for achieving each rank of challenge. Other than that, I really don't think there's any kind of benefit. You have to do it for the 100% achievement for the game. But if you're not interested in that, then maybe challenges aren't for you. So anyways, I go back into town here, and I want to sell my goods to the shopkeep. I think he's still mad at me for pointing a gun at somebody else, or he's on a break or something, because he's not selling. So I go to play Five Finger Fillet instead. Just another side game that you can do. You can bet money on it if you're a little low on cash. Relatively easy. Everybody knows what it is if you've seen Aliens. There's a base button for your starting point, and then for every space in between the fingers, it's a different button usually. I believe you can only bet $5 maximum, and they start incorporating the X and Y buttons when you get a little bit into the harder part of it. But right now it's just A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Really easy. I believe if you bet a smaller amount of cash, it's just A's. The Steve Urkel of the West there. Okay, so anyways, these are the challenges. I have done a few already. They're pretty easy here, but I've talked to people who have completed challenges way down the line in the game, and they sound damn near impossible. Really difficult, but we'll get into that later, I suppose. Right now I want to take a look at this treasure map. I want to go treasure hunting. I think I'm running out of time, so I'll have to do treasure hunting on the next video, but believe it or not, that is a treasure map. It's pretty pathetic. But fortunately, you actually spend a fair amount of time at that location. It's just outside of Armadillo, and we'll go into that into the next video. Hopefully this is helpful or somewhat entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.